Hello, my name is Nachum Danzig, and I'm a teacher at the Jerusalem College of Technology. Today, I want to go over some Unix commands regarding Grep in particular. And Grep uses regular expressions, so we'll do a little regular expressions. Grep, in fact, stands for Global Regular Expression and Print. So Grep is used for extracting a particular matching line from a file. So, for example, if I have a file like this, here's a text file called text, and there is the content of the file. And I can do a simple grep command like grep, give me a line that has the word pool in it, and I have to give the name of the file. And it will give me that line. If I ask for anything that has OO, so it won't just give me pool, it'll also give me two. The lines that have two in it. It gives me all the lines that have OO in it. That's the most basic regular expression. You can also use something called anchors, where you say that the line should start with OO. So there is no line like that. But if I say the line should start with POO, then it'll give me pool. I can also do the line should start with Nachum, which is my name, and end with Nachum, and it'll give me the line that is that. Now, if I would say Nachum, then it would give me the line that is my name twice. Now, why didn't it give me Nachum when I asked for Nachum? Because it starts with Nachum, but it doesn't end. Now, this is saying it has to end after six, letters. And it doesn't. This second line doesn't end after six letters. Again, look at the file. So it has Nachum. It also has Nachum. It has Nachum. It has various versions, but it's only if I just say give me a line that starts with these six letters and then ends. It's only going to be this line. And similarly, too, what if I want either one? How could I do that? So, in order to do that, we have to say we have to have a concept of multiplying. We have to say either one or two Nachums. So in order to do that, we have to have multipliers. So first of all, we are going to use some symbols that the bash shell might interpret as commands for it to interpret. But we just want to give it an exact text. So we're going to use quotes. And then we're going to have to backslash our word boundary symbol because again the shell will get confused. It will think it commands for it. So I can write the word Nachum, and then I can close it, and that's the word that I'm looking for. Well, wait a second. We want it to start with that, so we have to put a start symbol, and then we want it to be. We can use the backslash again, and we want to use the braces for multiplying. So let's say 1 to 2, or 1 or 2. But we need to backslash that. And we want to say that it's going to end there. The line will end there, so we put an end anchor. And now we give it the name of the file that we're grepping for. And it gives us either Nachum or Nachum. It gives us both results. If I would add, well, let's see, what if I do? If I do 1 to 3, then it gives me all the 3. If I do 1 to 4, well, it's going to give me the same results because there is no 1 with 4. So that's how I have a word in combination with a multiplier. I can also match the first thing that I captured. For example, I could say Nachum and then the thing that I captured, the first thing that I captured would be a 1. And then I can do a plus sign. Plus sign means at least one or more of the things that I captured, which is a Nachum in this case. So let's see how that works. I needed to have there. I need to backslash the plus also. So this is saying look for a line that has a Nachum, and then after it another Nachum, at least one of those other Nachums plus. If I would do instead of a plus, if I would do a star, that means 0 or more. But it didn't recognize it. Yeah, without a backslash. Okay, so sometimes it's tricky because you have to know what the shell is getting confused by and what it's not getting confused by. What doesn't get confused by the star. It did get confused by the plus sign. Okay, so those are some things that you can do with grep. So what if I want to have something that has, for example, 2 letters in it, the same 2 letters? So I can again use this special \1, which is very useful, really. For example, I can say, instead of Nachum, give me anything, and then I want to have at least one more of those. Well, let's say exactly one more of those. And let's say I don't care if it's at the beginning of the line or at the end of the line or at the beginning of the line. So look what it gives me. It gives me anything that has a double letter. We, double E, double L, double O, all of these have a single character followed by whatever character I found. Now, there's not a double, like, there's lots of double letters. NT are 2 letters. It's dafka, the same character again. That's what this \1 means. It means what I found over here, whatever. I don't care what I found, anything, but as long as it's appearing adjacent to itself again. So what if I did, for example, anything, but not one time, but now I want to do it, multiply that. So it could be 2 to 9 times, but I'm going to have to backslash these. So it gives me, this is, first O is found here. Then I'm saying, find it again at least 2 times. And it did. That's kind of useful. Okay, that's kind of useful. What else can we show you? Well, I don't have to use a dot. I can use, for example, W, which means any word letter. So, for example, let's change the file. Pico text. And let's add into it here, 1995. So this 99 is also a repeated letter. Let's see what happens now. So if I go word, it's only going to find me the triple. Oh, this is only. Yeah, let's change this. Now let's do. If I do it with instead of here, we'll change to a 1. Then it's going to find me all the double letters. The number is also a word character. So let's go back and change the file again. That's important to right. A number. It found the number. Let's go back and change the file again, and let's try something like. Let's try that. And so it didn't find the weird symbol thing. But if I had done it with a dot, then it does find the weird thing. Why? But why didn't it find? That's interesting. Oh, because I did it with 2. I did it with 2. Let's change that to a 1. Now it'll be everything, including this one, right? When I did it with a 2 over here, it only found 2 of them because those are the only 2 that had more than 2. So you see that the W is different from a single dot. A dot is anything, whereas a W is a alphanumeric letter. Okay. Let me see what else we can look at. There are some. Let's change our file again. Let's put in some words. Let's capitalize Nachum. Nachum. Okay, we'll capitalize one of them. Okay, so let's grep. Yeah, let's grep Nachum, the file, and I did Pico. That's the danger of using the up arrows. So grep Nachum finds Nachum. It doesn't find, however, the single line Nachum because it was capitalized. If I do with a capital N, then it'll give me that line, but it won't give me the other ones. What do I want to give? I want it to be a case-insensitive search. So that's a flag I actually can give grep, -I for insensitive. And now it'll find me both versions of Nachum. Good. What if I want to find, for example, 2 or she in the file? So it gives me both lines. Well, that's not, but you see it matches, it's in red. It found the chi here, or it found the 2, as it found both. So if I want to find, for example, 2 or Tross. So it found me Tross or 2. In other words, I can search for either one or the other with this vertical line. Is it or? This is just backslashing it for the shell. So the shell will not attempt to interpret it. Let's add another thing to the file. Pico text. Let's add something like this. God does not play dice with the universe. Period. Quote. Next line. Dash Albert Einstein. Now, this is an interesting thing I can do with grep. I want to get, for example, just to print the author of this quote, but not the quote. So I want to search for the word universe and get the next line and print out the next line. So let's see how I can do that. Okay, so I always like to use the up arrows, but that sometimes gets confusing. Grep, let's do -I, because let's say we don't know if it's capitalized or not. Universe, and we'll say -A1 And let's see what happens. So that gives us, as we're also getting the next line. That's what the one is. What if I did 2? It gives a blank line because that's the next line. What if I gave, let's say, 4? So it gives me Nachum Nachum. In other words, this A is like a pen to whatever you found. The next more lines, one up to after. It really, I think, actually stands for after. After it, 4 more lines. But now I let's say don't want. Let's go back. I want just the one line. I want just the one line, but I don't want both lines. I just want the line that I didn't find. So I can do that in a tricky way because let's say I know that the line is going to start with a minus. So I'll do like this. I'll pipe it into another grep, and I'll say grep for anything that starts with a minus sign, and I just get Albert Einstein. Minus Albert Einstein. So therefore I can get I can search for something and then get the line that follows it, for example, if I know something about that line. Otherwise I can get all of it. What if I do let's do like this. Let's do instead of universe, let's do Einstein. Ein I hope I'm spelling that right. Einstein, and instead of doing A, let's do B. So we get a line before the line that I searched. You see, obviously here I would do like 4. It wouldn't give me any more because that's the beginning of the line. But I could do, for example, Tross, and it would give me everything 4 lines before the word albatross. So these are not flags. These are not regular expressions. These are actually flags for the grep function. In other words, the regular expression in my case is just the word Tross, but these are flags for it. The case insensitive, and the before or after, and then how many lines I want. Now we can talk about egrep versus grep. So egrep is a version, egrep, you write it like that, is a version of grep, which is actually equivalent to using the regular grep minus capital E. Now what is this other version of grep? So in egrep, these symbols are treated as meta characters and not as a normal pattern. What does that mean practically? Well, what it means practically is that if you remember this method of using grep to get the Nachum in the file, as long as it was at least one time, two times. Find the Nachum and then again the Nachum, and then that at least one extra time, which means totally 2 or 3 or 4 times or 5 times. And we saw that worked. Now, but it was a little bit annoying to write it this way. So because all the backslashes. So if we write egrep, then we don't need to backslash those characters that I listed before. I mean, they're treated as what's called meta characters, and therefore it will work if we go like this. The 1 still needs to be backslashed because otherwise it thinks you mean the letter 1. No, it's the number 1, but we really mean we special meaning for 1, which is the previous match. So let's try that again. And you see now it works without the backslashes, but I used egrep. Now if I, just to prove to you what I'm saying, if I don't use the egrep, then it just gets confused. It's bad syntax. Doesn't understand. So that's one use of the egrep. In other words, that's the basic point of the egrep. It's to save you having to backslash those symbols that I previously had on the screen. Let's see another example of using grep versus egrep. So, for example, if I would say like this, first of all, I added something to the file. If I do cat text, so you'll see that I added big bag, and bag to the file. So what if I do grep, and then I say anything that starts with a B, or anything that has a B in it, and then I say an option. So options are like this. And I'll say it like this. Not anything that is not an I or an O. So options are in these square braces. And then I want 2 of them or more. And then I want a G, a letter G. And that's my regular expression. I want 2 or more things that are not I or O. And I want it to be started with a B and ending with a G. And I'll do that on my file, text. And I get nothing. I get absolutely nothing. But there is there. If I use egrep, all of a sudden it's going to work. 2 or more. B-A-A-G, right? Obviously, if I had had a 1 here, 1 or more, so it'll give me, but it didn't give me big or bog because those are an I or an O. But the point is, it works with an egrep. It doesn't work with a grep. If I wanted it to work with a grep, I'd have to backslash all those things that I just said are meta characters. So that would be I think not these ones, because these ones are not meta characters. Yeah. In other words, just the ones that are meta, just the ones that were in my list. And if the square brackets were not in the list. So the brackets with just the braces and the parentheses, but not the square brackets. So now I can do it with grep, but it's confusing. So to always backslash things. So therefore we have this egrep where I can write it in a more human way. By the way, as long as we're talking about the not, let's try it with without the not. And let's say here should give me big or bog. And Dafka, I'm looking for a B followed by either an I or an O at least one time, and then a G. Now, if I would change this to 2 times, I won't get anything. But if I change this to A, then I will. Now, of course, the braces there, the square braces are meaningless because usually you only have it's an or on only one thing is just like writing the thing. So, right, because like for example, I could write it the same way. I could write like this, and now it's going to find it just the same. But what is being doubled? The 2 saying 2 or more of what? The previous letters. That's an A. What if I want it to be the whole thing? The BA, then I would do like this, and I'd say double that whole word, and then I don't find it because there is no BA. But if I do it just once, then it finds it. BAG. One time BA. Okay, so that's an introduction to grep and egrep, giving you some of the things, the ors, the nots, the difference between grep and egrep when you can use parentheses, and getting the previous match. Another utility, in addition to grep, that's useful, although not really related in any way, is the find command. So, for example, I can do find, and it finds me files. So, for example, if I would do find me everything in the current directory, dot is the current directory, gives me a whole lot of stuff. Control C, let's stop that. If I say find me everything from the top directory, it's going to also find me a lot of stuff. But that's kind of useless to just find everything. So what I can do is I can say find in dot something whose name is Fred, and it didn't find anything. But if I say touch Fred, I've created a file called Fred, and now it finds it, and it tells me where it is. If I say mk dir stam dir, and then I say touch Fred, no, touch stam dir slash Fred, I'm creating a file called Fred in a directory called stam dir, which I just created. So now when I do find, everywhere, find, notice, from where I am downward, find everything whose name is Fred. Another useful thing you can do with find is like what I've written here. You can find the file called text, and then you can execute a command on the file. In this case, I've executed the simple command cat, which means just cat the file. I put the braces here to indicate on what I'm executing cat. Now, there's cat of what? The thing that I found, the text.txt file. Now, whatever file I happen to find, that's what's going to be executed, and that's what this is. Then it really should be a semicolon after that, but I have to backslash the semicolon. So there. Now I've looked for a file called text, and then once I found it, I catted it. I can similarly do another command. For example, let's say I look for a file called here. Let's build this up slowly. Let's say, for example, I look for a file called Fred, like I did before, and I see there's two of them. Now I can say Fred, but minus execute. What command do I want to execute? I want to execute the rm command to delete them. And then I have to put the braces. That's the thing. I know each of the things that I found, I'm going to delete them. And then I have to backslash the end of command. And now it's quiet. So silence is golden. Silence means that it succeeded. If I now do the previous command and look for them, I see that they're not there anymore. Now, as I've deleted Fred and I've deleted, let's just make sure I didn't delete anything else. You see, I didn't, and there's no Fred here. And there's no, but inside of directory stamdir, there's probably nothing, I assume. ls stam dir, and there's nothing there. So that's another useful thing to do with find, which is to find a file and then run a command on it. Okay, that is a good introduction to using find. Okay, good luck.